let me transition just because we mentioned him about Brendan Dassey, and I'm going to read you guys something that I found online. I don't know if you saw this. But in those conversations where he's talking to his mom and the annoying, there's a lot that they left out. And this was the one that I found the most interesting. Apparently, he talked about Stephen touching him in the past, touching him inappropriately, and they cut this out. So he says, the mom said, did he make you do this? And Brendan said, yeah. And mom said, then why didn't you tell him that? And Brendan said, tell him what? And she says that Steve made you do it. You know, he made you do a lot of things. And Brendan said, yeah, I told him that. I even told him about Steven touching me in that. And she goes, what do you mean touching you? And Brendan says, he would grab me somewhere where I was uncomfortable. And it goes on about him talking about him touching him.
There are many different ways that especially guys can screw around with other guys in a position of power to make them feel stupid. If Brendan felt sexually assaulted, he was sexually assaulted. However, Stephen Avery's intention may have just been to rattle him, or he was just horsing around, or, you know what I mean? Like, his mother was not kind at all.
Well, I don't think she's smart either. None of these people are smart. I'm sure that both of you have read this stuff online, that police this is not an uncommon thing for police to lead and try to get people. They will do anything to get you to admit you did something. So, okay, part of that.
Ashley says
but
it's right.
Even with these call details that I found, like, even if that was admitted, like, why wasn't that included? Like, the fact that he said he touched me, he made me do things, like, whatever. What now, was it included? Maybe it was included in the trial, and they just didn't include it in the documentary. I don't know.
Well, I don't know, and again, no, for sure, police lead things, and you know, if you're dumb enough to be coerced into it. I'm not saying you're dumb enough. You're under pressure enough to be whatever. But the point is that he was a minor, so there should have been a parent there or a presiding counsel of some sort, representing counsel,
lawyer,
to sit there. And if that didn't happen, that should have been inadmissible, which is the whole thing that they hung him, essentially. You know, the whole case was hung on the idea that he got on video and confessed. And they were like, see, we have it. And we have him on video drawing a picture that he claims is, you know, now we see is like an exact rendition of what went down in Kiss the Girls per his admission. Like, so the whole thing to me is just kind of like, how did that, so in their appeals, like, okay, I want a new trial. I understand them putting Stephen Avery's over here, but it's amazing to me that the kid keeps getting denied, who's not a kid anymore, he's an adult.
And that they refuse to even hear it 10 years later. And that Brendan Dassey on the phone makes a plea to us, all of us, to say, please help me get out of here.